What's up, guys? Okay, these are just basically a few predictions that I think are going to happen over the next few months of Walking Dead, and a few things farther on in the future. One of the key things that I want to hit on is Negan. Dude is just nuts. He's crazy, as we saw in the previous issue today. I just kind of had a little bit of time to let that issue sink in, and it's crazy what he does. Now, the thing that I think about Negan the most is that he's this high school bully type. He's big in numbers. He's just, the more people he's surrounded around, oh, then I can handle this situation. You isolate him from those numbers, though, the guy's a total coward. He kind of strikes me as this cocky jerk, but like any high school bully, they're just, really scared and everything like that. Another thing I want to touch on is it wouldn't surprise me if Kirkman tried to throw in a curveball, like he's this actually a good family man type. I know it's a stretch, but we've seen characters that they kind of show up and, they appear to be something, but in the end they really aren't. So, also one more thing I want to touch on Negan. He really strikes me as Rick personified. He's really strikes me as the perfect version of Rick. What Rick strives to ultimately become is this, leader. He's strong. Everybody just looks up to him. And that's the type of thing that Negan comes off as. That everybody's like, well, you don't mess with this guy because he's our leader. He's been through so much shit that we don't even question any of his commands or anything like that. So that's where I think they're really going to go with him. One other thing that I want to touch on is Jesus, the character Jesus. He hasn't been around a lot in the series lately, which has kind of been interesting to me. It's kind of been confusing also because he comes off as this total badass, and you think Kirkman would use that a lot more. So I think in the next few months he's going to play a more crucial and important role in the series. He's going to be more at the forefront, especially with such a main character that we just lost in issue 100. Rick, I think that I think that when Kirkman said that this is going to be his one of his darkest moments, I think Rick was kind of looking towards Glenn as being, well, if this guy can pull it off, if he can have a normal lifestyle, if he could have, this family, and if he could do this, then I can raise my son, I could pull this off. And with Glenn dying, that kind of perfect image just gets kind of shattered. And also, the survivors from Rick's group, they recently become accustomed to being this big badass group that nobody can touch them. They've since the Governor arc, they've just been building and building and building, and nobody's been able to even really lay a scratch on them. I mean, we saw with the cannibals, they took them out like they were nothing. And that's been kind of going on a lot. This kind of brought them down a peg a little bit, and I think that's also going to hit Rick a lot in this series. Let's see. As for the foreseeable future, I think that Negan will kind of call off the group that he has already planned on Andrea's group. I think he's just going to pull them back, say, we don't want to fuck with these guys right now. We've already got them broken a little bit. Let's just have them work with us. Negan said that they're going to be back for the supplies next week in the Walking Dead timeline, of course. And I think Rick during that time period, and I think what the next few issues are going to focus on, is just mostly Rick planning how can we follow these guys back so we can see where they are, how can we plan to get back at them, because now it's time to kind of strike back at them. He's not going to rush head on into things because it just kind of bit him in the ass, so that's definitely going to be what I see happening. I also kind of hope Kirkman doesn't fall into this sort of this loop of his story where he's repeating things, because at the moment Negan can be a very interesting character. We don't know much about him, but he can also be just another governor if he does it the wrong way. So those are my thoughts. Love to hear back from you. Thanks.